guys, here with another episode of Trainer Confidential. Got Donnie here, and we today are going to talk about Michael Krizo and Hunter Labrada. Both are very promising athletes. Labrada's been in the game for quite a while now, but his placing went down at the last Olympia, but he changed some things, and I just want to bring that up. I know we talked about him last week a little bit, but he's got a pretty impressive physique. One of the best in the world. I mean, he's anyway. And Krizo,
and we're talking about Labrada now, right?
Yeah, Labrada, yeah.
Yeah,
And
Krizo, I think the big letdown with Labrada is when he first came on the scene. I mean, he was really up and coming and stuff, and then when he placed what he did in that first Olympia, it was almost a shoe-in for him to make the top five or around the top three, and the bottom just fell out from it. And that's where the disappointment was. There was just a lot of expectation. But then again, when you got the last name Labrada, you just got, anticipated, expectations. So, yeah. So let's see if he can turn it around. We'll see. Right now, it looks like he is, but yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to start off with, I think Krizo. I'm going to remember what my screen is here. Yeah, so Krizo's first. So actually I want to start off with the video first. I'm not sure how long ago these posts are, but this is a recent video of him. I believe he's this is I think it was after Spain, so it's just a couple weeks ago. But look at the guy's back. He's got to have the biggest biceps in bodybuilding right now, for one.
The biggest arms, yeah. His arms look very similar to Phil Heath's. Very, very, very similar.
Yeah. So and some of the things that he needed to fix was his back. That was one thing, and I think he's done that. The only other thing that I could see is his glutes. So, and he knows that. I think he's going to talk about it right here, actually. Oh no. So I believe he's sitting at 280 right now.
Okay.
Oh, 275.
Some real good conditioning right now.
So as you all know, he qualified for the Olympia at the Spain show. So yeah, all he has to do now is train for the Olympia. And I don't know, from what I've seen, this guy's made so many improvements in the last year. We just kind of heard about him last year, really. He came out about the same time Samson and Andrew Jack. They're all just these guys that came out of nowhere. And he was he even top 10 last in the Olympia? I think he was like 11th, wasn't he, or something like that?
I cannot remember where he placed.
I think he might have been like
in the last Olympia and stuff, but it's not going to matter, because I remember the times when Jay Cutler was 14th, and even Ronnie Coleman was 16th, 17th, and this guy, he's fresh in it, and he didn't make the top five. Maybe he was top 10. I don't know, but I tell you, I mean, if he just get that refinement and bring that conditioning and stuff, hey,
he's a
who knows?
I see him as, if he keeps everything going like he is, I see him top 5 easy.
His back thickness is good. His back detail is good. I still haven't seen. I have to see a back lat spread. I know his back double should be pretty impressive upstairs, because when he was doing the lat pulls, he was showing quite a good amount of detail. A good amount of 3D-ness. It's so, if we're taking a look at that front lat spread, even though let's go down one. Go back to that front lat spread. That one right there. Now, that looks pretty impressive, but we're talking about going against
Lunsford.
Lunsford's front lat spread is just a killer.
Yeah.
So yeah, this, compared this to Derek Lunsford's front lat spread, Derek would get him on this right here.
Yeah, he
So
would. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
But I mean,
He still has some filling out to do a little. I know that's kind of hard to say, but
yeah,
that's
I know,
because
right?
he's just that tall. But he still has some filling out to do a little bit, because Derek right now is just he is really got the momentum going and stuff.
I don't
And
think there's any
maybe this
improvements
that
Derek
move
can
that he
make.
did, that move that he did to sit out the Arnold,
Yeah.
initially we were like, oh, he should have did that, but you know what? I think that might just pay off.
You think so? Okay.
I think it might pay off,
Yeah. Yeah.
especially
I
the way
mean,
he's looking right now.
he's a front runner, that's for sure.
Yeah.
It's going to be him, Walker, or and
Oh, don't count out the wolf now. I
yeah,
mean,
it's true.
you can't count him out. Okay, you
That's
can't count
true.
him out.
We don't know what's going to happen. That's just a fact.
True,
We got
true.
so many guys in here that are I mean, look at that. He don't have too many back shots on this. I wanted to get a
I
picture.
mean, his side chest is gonna it would be comparable to Lunsford and stuff. I mean, he's got a good amount of thickness, but front and back, you know, Lunsford is really really dominant in the north and south, and he's pretty solid east and west too, but especially north and south.
Do you think there's any improvements that Lunsford could actually do on his physique if he comes in, diced, and he comes in like he comes in every show pretty much. Is there any improvements you can see from Lunsford at
Well,
this
everybody
point?
can improve. I mean, I don't think any bodybuilder will sit back and tell you. Even Lee Hank would say, I was 100%, you know, for most of the times that I was on the Olympia stage. I'm pretty sure everybody, thinks that they can, improve a little bit, but
Yeah.
but not by much though.
No. Well, it's like, for
They're pretty
example,
much they're pretty much at the top. It's I think at that point it's more about being consistent.
yeah,
Is how consistent can you come in at that 98 to 100%? You know
yeah,
what I mean?
that's true. Yeah.
You'll be it's just like a sprinter. I mean, it's just like, Bolt. He broke the world record once. You know what I mean? He didn't do it all the time.
Yeah.
There's just good days where you're running good, and there's times where you're not running so good. Where just like in bodybuilding, there are times when you're on the stage, you're like 100%, and there's times you're like 96%, and there's times like you're 98%. It's just hitting that peak, and hitting it right at the right time. But right now, the way I would say it, if Krizo comes in at his best and Lunsford comes in at his best, I think you and I both know where I think you can
Yeah.
give that to Lunsford.
Yeah. Uh, so Clarita, for example, I mean, he's consistent, and I don't
Yes,
see
he
no
is.
room. There's no room for improvement on that guy. He comes in diced every time like he's supposed to, and but
That's yeah.
he's filled out his
That,
frame enough there. I don't see nothing that he could change. You know what I mean?
yeah, I mean, that's the deal. He's just got to come in as close to 100%
Yeah.
as consistently as he can. If he does that, yeah, I think he's got a couple more titles under him. You
Yeah, I think
know,
so too. I think he's if he stays in 212, I think he's got the titles for a while if he keeps on coming in that way. And then take Walker, for example, at the Olympia and the Arnold, which physique did you like the best?
let me see. I like the Olympia. He was
So
he
do
was
I.
he was he yeah he was a little fuller, and he was tighter,
Yeah,
and sometimes there's just something to be said about being in contest or near contest conditioning all the time. I mean, it's good in some cases, and then in some some circumstances, you got to take a little bit of a break. You got to take your foot off
I
the
agree.
gas and stuff, and I think he lost a little bit in his wheels,
Yep.
but he's been a while since he's been on stage now, so I think he's going to bring a pretty decent package at that Olympia.
I'm glad you said that because he was pretty much on prep from Olympia to Arnold, and you're right. He lost a little bit in his legs, and I just preferred his physique before, and I think that's what it was. He just needed to take a little break. He was, his body looked tired. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you just got to find that time, like right now. I did the Californian, and now I'm doing the Worlds, and I'm today is 8 weeks out, and I'm already about 3/4 of the way there, and so you gotta, you gotta plan it a little bit and stuff, you gotta time it to
Yeah,
where when I go to the Worlds, I wanna be really lean, but I want to be full too.
yeah, yeah. And that's what it is. It's just you got to time it. You got to time it.
I mean,
Let's go to what's that?
yeah, yeah.
Let's go
I
to
mean,
Labrada.
yeah.
Labrada, I'm a big fan of Labrada.
And a lot of people, like I said, he was going up and up and up and up. He's very consistent, and then it's like he just said, okay, I'm gonna try this instead,
yeah, yeah.
and it just I don't it didn't work out.
If it ain't
He
broke,
was
don't
just
fix it, man. I mean,
Yeah, that's what I said. Get back to what got you to where you were at that point,
yeah.
and just stay with that. That's all that is. That
So
that that back Glassberg is a pretty impressive shot right there. I
yeah,
wonder how
I'm gonna
long
go
ago
to
that
those
was.
in a sec. Let's watch this video on the posing. He's gonna do a pose down here in front of Fuad. Uh,
Is that Fuad?
yeah, it's Fuad in the
Okay.
back. So there's his front relax. That's his version. Fuad had him put his shoulders back a little bit, just the slightest. Uh, and it was a night and day difference. I thought.
Yeah, yeah. Is he trying to? I think he's monitoring from the back. Yeah,
Yeah.
getting to rotate his hands back.
And he was talking about he'd kind of pull his glutes in for the
Yeah,
back
bite those
shots.
glutes. Bite
Yeah,
those glutes.
yeah,
Some people they try to push them out to kind of like spread the surface out to make them look leaner and stuff, but
yeah.
you know
Well, and he's got glutes. I mean, he's got big glutes, so he doesn't need.
his dad isn't as actively involved in his career as he once was.
Oh, he's right there too. He's in that
Is
shot.
he?
Yeah, Fuad's talking to
Okay.
him,
Okay.
asking him some things, what he thinks and stuff. This is a video. If you guys want to watch this, it's on Fuad's channel. No, it's on Labrada's channel.
Oh, there he is. Yeah,
Uh,
this is dad.
yeah, and I believe he's training chest and triceps
Yeah.
uh in this video, and he does some
He's
posing.
pretty lean. He's just holding some water.
Yeah, yeah. Which he's 6 weeks out right now, so you know, I think he's pretty on point for being 6 weeks out. Let's
Yeah.
go that back.
It's all about timing now. He's just sitting on it until he'll probably lean out a little bit more as he gets closer and stuff, and he'll dry out.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, this is 13 hours ago he posted this.
We'll see, man. We got a lot of good guys, man.
Oh
That's going to
man.
be in this. So it's you can't forget about Samson, and like I said, you
No,
got the Wolf. You can't count him out.
no.
And then you got Curry coming back. We'll see what that's going to be all about.
That's the thing too. I mean, it's like this is gonna be one of the I mean, in at least since I've been following bodybuilding, I said this about last Olympia. I'm thinking this
Mhm.
Olympia is going to be the best one that I've been involved in so far. I mean,
And the thing about it, I think it's gonna be a pretty good show without Ramy,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because Ramy's not gonna be in it.
yeah. And he needs to take a
And
little
you would
break
think,
anyway.
well, how's it going to be on Olympia without Ramy? Because for the longest, it's been here's the win or lose. So it's all about which Ramy's going to show up and stuff. And even though he's not going to be in this, but yet there's a lot of anticipation coming with this. It's the new blood, actually.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
it's the
Yes.
new blood. This kind
Yeah.
of this kind of reminds me of the period of the early '80s. It was post Arnold, and it was post Arnold, but it was pre Lee Haney. And you would have these various Olympias. You know, you had Frank Zane, you had Samir Benoit, you had Chris Dickerson, you had Franco Colombo. You know, you had these folks, and that's where we are right now, because we've had Brandon Curry and we've had Persian Wolf, you know, and you know, we've had Ramy, he's done it about twice or so, but we haven't had a dominant Olympia person, a person that's going to run about 6 or 7 of these. This person hasn't showed, well, this person's probably on stage, but they just
Yeah.
haven't come to their own yet. You see what I'm
You're right.
saying? So this is the period that it looks like to me and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
We're in this period where we're having these Olympians, and these Olympians are coming in, but somebody's going to come out and you're going to know, hey, look, this person is going to get at least, you know, 3, 4, maybe even 5, you know. I don't know if we're going to ever see 8 again, you know,
Yeah.
but
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't see that happening, but I do see several. I mean, Phil Heath was the last one that had
I can see
several.
multiples. Yeah.
Yeah. I can see Lunsford actually taking that role for a few years. Uh,
Well, yeah. I mean, that's what's on my radar right now.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like I said,
yeah.
Labrada, you know, he's got great structure. You know, I mean, you know, there's nothing that's really weak. There's nothing that's holding him back. You
Nope.
know, there no muscle groups are holding you back. And the main thing is, you know, you may not have a lot of muscle groups that really enhance your physique, but as long as you don't have anything that takes away from it,
Taken away. Yeah,
and he falls in that latter category, so he's pretty solid all the way around.
yeah, he is. Yeah, I agree.
We'll just have
I
to
agree.
see what happens.
Let's go over to Lunsford real quick. I know I didn't plan this, but since we're talking
Yeah,
about him,
why not?
yeah, I want to go see Lunsford real quick here. There we go. Oh, you were there. There it is. All right. So Lunsford ain't posting too much. I know we've seen all this stuff, I think, but see how far oh, this is a day ago. This is one day ago.
Yeah.
Oh, insane.
You would think that he was like 5'10", close to 6 feet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
in that one shot that you showed us,
yeah.
you know, that's just how big he looks.
His back is just insane though. I mean,
Yeah, his north and
literally.
south. He's wide.
Yeah. I mean, he's almost as wide as he is tall.
He's got broad shoulders, and he's got well developed delts. And typically, it's not so much in bodybuilding, but it is like figures and some of the other. Is you either have an athlete that's got broad shoulders or long clavicles, and they have weak delts, or they have great delts and they have short clavicles. You
Mhm.
know, you don't, you know, you find these people that have them both. They have broad shoulders and they have great delts. That you know, that's almost unbeatable right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in my mind, this is the new Olympian right here. Unless something changes. But as you know, I'm a big advocate for Samson. Uh, I got Samson's got a lot of potential, and I think maybe in a couple years, I think Samson could take it all. He could be the
You know, yeah, and you're right. I think it's gonna, you know, I mean, if Derek's 100% and Samson's 100%,
yeah. Oh,
that's
it's yeah.
it's
I mean,
almost I'd almost have to go with Samson again, simply
yeah,
because he's just a bigger dude. As
yeah,
big as Lunsford is, it would be it would go to the bigger guy. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
You
Exactly.
know,
As long as he's diced and he's comes in 100%, just like him, the bigger guy
because
is going to
yeah,
win.
because the thing about it is this. I mean, Samson, he's got structure too. He's a big
Yeah,
guy with structure. He's got those big round 3D muscles, you know, and he would outsize Lunsford, you know, because I mean, per height, they have the same amount of muscle per square inch per height, whereas if Samson was like maybe like 10 pounds lighter, that would be to Derek's advantage, because Derek would actually look larger.
yeah. You're right. Yeah, And he gets that waist down super tight
See,
too when he's
I mean, is that's Samson there, right?
yeah, that's Samson and Lunsford, yeah.
But the thing about it is, Samson's saying he's hovering right around about 300 pounds, though,
Yeah.
right?
Yep,
Isn't that
yep,
what he
yep,
said?
yep. Lunsford, I don't know what he's
Whereas
weighing. I bet he's probably
whereas
270.
Lunsford looks just as big as he does. It's
He
just
does,
shorter.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, he does. Just a little shorter. I'm thinking
Samson seems
Lunsford's
to
probably
they
270.
seem their waist seems to be about the same. Maybe
Yeah,
Samson maybe a tad bit smaller. We'll see. You know, it just once you shed the fat in the water, you
yeah,
know that's when you really know.
yeah. And Lunsford's a big
But
he's a
see,
good example of that
I
because
can
when
tell you
he
right now, see,
yeah,
Samson's got higher lats. Lunsford's lats are just his front double arm bicep and his front lat spread. Man, what great poses to start. The first two poses that opens up the whole salvo is that front double arm bicep and that front lat spread. And if you're really strong in those two poses, that's like coming out of the blocks and sprinting, and after about the third set, you're already ahead of the group. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
You know, by the time you go into the side chest, everybody's playing catch up.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. And there it is.
I want to see
And
that
his
back lat spread.
Lunsford's
That's going to be the deal.
what do you think about his legs compared to the last Olympia? I think his quads are looking a lot more separated and they're
Yeah,
bigger.
and they're looking they're looking rounder too.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like
I'm yeah, I don't know. Right now, to me, Lunsford looks a bit more impressive because he's fuller,
yeah.
the whole 9 yards. I don't know whether Samson may be like a Kevin Levrone. Kevin tends to grow into his stage um package. He
Jeez.
tends to grow into it. You know what I mean? Most
Yeah.
people they kind of shed weight down into it. But
Yeah.
right now, I mean, he's looking okay. You know, Samson is. You know,
Yeah.
it's nice and round and everything, but I in that right there, from what I just saw, that little scrimmage, that's what that was. You know, I thought Derek was a little bit more impressive though.
He was, yeah. And I think a lot of it is a lot of his legs. Derek's legs are so separated right now. But we know Samson's going to get better though. I mean, he's off right now, and once he gets shredded, that all is going to
I
change.
wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he's probably completely off.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah, he
probably not
probably
taking anything right now.
you're probably right. Yeah.
You
I
know,
don't think
he's
as far as Samson goes, I don't think he doesn't play around with that too much anyway. I mean, when Milos started coaching him, Milos would say, "Hey, you got to do this and this," and he just didn't want to. I think he did for the Arnold, but I mean, yeah, he's
yeah
just a genetic freak, is all.
yeah. Well, he better look at the history of Ronnie Coleman and check it out because
Yeah,
remember Ronnie competed naturally as a pro for a while and he had to hook up with Flex. Flex had to show him the business,
you're right. Yeah,
you know, and open Pandora's box.
yeah, that's true. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, right now it's definitely Derek is. I would say he's definitely one of the front runners, you know.
yeah. See if this is going to be a leg workout here. Oh, there's with Ronnie. I thought it was going to be a leg thing. One thing we haven't seen a lot of is Jacked. Uh,
I know he's been on the wraps, you know.
but we
So
know who his coach is, and we know why though,
right,
because that's how he rolls.
I mean that's fine.
Yeah.
Typically that's how I roll. I don't like to. I stay covered up all the time, and
Yep. Yep.
you know I tend to go on the radar and stuff, and just take care of the business.
The surprise element is there, and that's what like we're talking about him right now. What's Jack doing? What's he looking like? Well, we're gonna have to wait to find out,
Mm-hmm.
and that's just how it should be. You got, some of these guys, and Derek, he doesn't post all that much, but he posts enough to where you get physique updates. But some of them, they have a little bit too many physique updates. So you already know what you're looking at. And, so you know how hard you got to train basically, and what you got to do.
And in a lot of cases, people that, especially, they do these pre they do these progress pics and stuff like that, and they look really, really, really impressive, and they end up being disappointing on stage, so
Yeah. You're right.
so I think it's one of the reasons why you don't see quite as many, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, a lot can happen that last 48 hours. A lot can happen. You can make or break a physique in that time.
yeah.
I don't think a lot of people realize how important that is in your physique for the last 48 hours. But anyway, I'm rooting for Lunsford. I definitely see Labrada going up in ranks. Look at that.
Yeah, I would say I would comfortably say that I can say with absolute confidence that he's in single digits.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's
Yeah.
definitely in single digits.
Yeah. That means
Easy,
his diet don't change that much. He just adds more calories. That's all.
pretty much,
Which
just more of the same.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's the way it should be. Our diets really shouldn't change, just the amount that we're eating, really.
And sometimes it takes that moment. You got to load up on some calories a little bit and stuff, because like I said, if you stay on them too long, and it can kind of work against you, a little bit deflated,
Yeah,
and we saw that with Nick Walker, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
So, but he'll
Yeah,
he'll
Nick
come back, and
Walker.
he'll be on point.
Walker is kind of like a robot when it comes to that. He just, he's got his routine so structured. I mean, he says he's never missed a meal, and I believe him. Like he's just that on point. That's his number one thing. Is everything else comes second. And that's the heart of a champion right there. I mean,
But
Arnold was the same way.
yeah, with most success, I mean, the power is in the repetition, but I find it's very much the case in bodybuilding,
Yeah,
in this sport right here,
yeah,
and it is,
yeah,
it's mastering the mundane,
yeah,
there's a lot of repetition, over and over and over again, and you just give it time,
yeah. But
you
I
know.
think one important thing though is to every now and then indulge a little bit. Have something you want to eat. Whatever. Because we're doing this and we love to do it, but there are other pleasures in life that you should be able to enjoy too sometimes.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
absolutely.
And that way you enjoy it more in the long run anyway.
Hmm.
Like, well, I was gonna say, like, when I have my cheat meals during prep, I can't really say I enjoy it because I don't, because I'm eating so clean already.
But the thing about it is this: typically with us, we're it's not like it's not like we're snapping. It's it's part of, because we're coming down so fast until the metabolism starts revving up. You
Yeah,
gotta you
we
gotta
need
put
it.
the brakes on things. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You gotta slow things down a little bit and stuff. And that's where that cheat meal comes in. I mean, it can be there's circumstances where it's a viable part of prep.
and
You
actually
gotta
we
have
said
that
it.
cheat meal.
That's the wrong name for a cheat meal because it is a necessity. You're
Well, a
not.
refeed.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
what we call it. A
refeed.
lot of
Yeah,
people call it a refeed.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean, people understand what it is when you say cheat meal.
Sure. Yeah,
But you're
yeah.
right. It's not really a cheat meal under
Not
those
not an enjoyment
circumstances.
thing.
You know, it's not a cheat meal under those circumstances. So,
Hey, real quick,
yeah,
why is a burger and fries always the go-to?
I think that's more of an iconic thing. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean, burger and fries, and especially if you're going, you've been on chicken and fish.
Yeah.
You're not doing any red meat or anything like a hamburger and fries. Oh shoot, are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah.
I'll knock that out, you know.
Thing is with me, whenever I do that refeed, I just feel, I mean, depending on what I eat, if I eat some fast food or something, I feel like shit. I mean, it just makes me feel like crap. I don't enjoy it. If I make,
But sometimes more of the same isn't enough. You know what I mean? I mean, you eat like an extra 400, 500 calories of chicken breast and rice and stuff. It doesn't have the same effect as like, you know, a steak sandwich or something like that, which it doesn't have the same effect. It doesn't have the same oomph to it. You know what I mean?
you're right.
It
You're
just
right.
depends on where you are in that depletion phase.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if your depletion, let's go from 1 to 10. If your depletion is like a 9 or a 10, sometimes more of the same is going to be enough. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You gotta throw in some other stuff. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Uh, yeah, that's very true.
But the thing about it is this: if you're to the point to where you have to do that, you are pretty freaking lean, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Uh,
know,
how many refeeds do you typically during your preps? I
it
mean,
just
I know it changes
depends.
all the
It
time, but
depends. I mean, it really depends. I mean, that day when I do that weigh-in, that kind of determines what's going to happen that day. One or three things, I mean, I'm either going to stay steady where I'm at, or I'm going to pull something, or I'm going to, have a refeed, you know,
mm,
and 8 times out of 10, it's okay. I'll keep doing what I'm doing, I'll keep doing what I'm doing, And like I said, if I plateau a couple, then I know it's time to bump something or pull something.
yeah,
And then each day, that's how I do, and that's just how I do. Everybody's got their own little method of doing it,
yeah.
on when and how much you need to cheat. And some people, if you're behind, you ain't cheating any.
No, you ain't,
Don't even
don't
think
even think
about
about that.
it.
You
Don't
need to
even
think
think
about
about it. Well,
that
cheat
step
meal? No,
mill.
ain't no cheat meal.
Yeah,
Ain't no cheat meal. I mean,
I
that's
kind
that's
of,
that, and that's the purpose of it. When that metabolism, and especially with your when it starts going, and you're eating 5,000 calories and training on empty, you're still running on empty, eating 5,000 calories.
yeah,
You know, it's time to put the brakes on it a little bit.
yeah. I
That's
think
why I
I
said this
typically,
this is the only sport where you can eat 3,000 calories a day and long from when you can finally eat something.
yeah, yeah.
You know, you
Or like
know,
with me, I
you
can eat
know.
4,000 calories and
You can
drop weight.
consume 4,000 calories a day and still long from when you can finally eat something.
Yeah, yeah,
That's bodybuilding.
yeah.
That's
I typically
contest
get
prep.
about 2 refeeds, I think, per prep, but I don't do nothing unless you tell me to do it. But yeah, I mean, all depends on the weight that morning, how fast I'm dropping, because I know sometimes I have pretty huge drops overnight. Uh,
Yeah.
but last
And
time
if
I
we look
had
at
two
we'll look at
refeeds.
we'll look at that disparity between that morning weight and that evening weight,
Yep.
and see what's the difference in the morning. What's the disparity between those loads, and that kind of gives you an idea of what that burn rate is a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, it does too. It's a pretty, I mean, yeah, that's for sure. Well, I think that's all we got for today. I want to give a shout out to one of our fans, Chris, on Instagram.
All
He
right.
follows us, watches us, and very in tune with what we're doing. So that's awesome. So I want to give a shout out to him. Uh, other than that, we will see you next week. And you guys have a good weekend. Thank you for watching and like and subscribe and all that kind of stuff. And
Absolutely.
we'll see you next week.
Yep.